Isn't it lovely? Aunt Maura got Ma's letter that Jack and I were getting married. And she went straight to her trunk, took out her wedding veil, and mailed it to me. So my first real present is family lace from Ireland.
Yes. My mother made this for Maura's wedding the year that Mary was born. I think it was the last lace she made before her eyes started to go.
Frank, look at the flowers. They're all worked by hand. Aren't they incredible?
Will you stand still? You're going to get stuck.
It is lovely, Mary. It's almost worthy of you.
Aw, thank you, Francesco.
Dear Maura. Her with 6 huge boys and wanting a daughter with all her heart. Turn a little to the right, dear.
Like this?
That's right, good. We'll have to send her a picture.
Picture?
Oh, Ma! I'm sorry, darling.
Ma, I haven't done anything about a
you
photographer.
No, sure, it's done. You've got an appointment for your portrait, 8 a.m., the morning before the wedding, and he'll be there before Mass, and he'll stay for the reception.
Is she terrific?
So you're wearing Ma's blouse, huh?
Well, we're adding a skirt for propriety's sake. I think it needs a little more fullness in the back, and I'll add a bit of a train as I go on. Now, I have to do some marking.
I thought you were buying a dress.
Well, I tried on a dozen, but none of them seemed right. And then when I came home and found the wedding veil waiting, I remembered that Grandmother had made the lace for Mother's blouse, too. One thing led to another, and Ma thought she could do a skirt in time.
Oh, well, I'd like to run some of that lace if I could match it down the skirt.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Oh, what a splendid excuse to call home. Megan's got Mother's trunk. She used to run this stuff off by the yard. What time would it be in Cork?
Well, I'd say a little after dinner.
Well, I'll try later.
You know, I'm really beginning to get in the spirit of things.
Oh, well, thank you very much. It's about time.
I'm even feeling downright friendly toward my prospective brother-in-law. I think mainly because he asked Bob to be an usher.
He didn't.
Didn't you know?
He didn't say a word about it to me. When that happened?
Yesterday afternoon sometime.
Oh, I guess it was part of the same fit that produced the honeymoon tickets.
The stern-wheeler down the Mississippi.
How will you like that, baby,
I
huh?
love it, I love it.
Oh, Frank, would you get that, please?
Yeah, sure. It looks like the only one who can. Woo! Well, we were just talking about you.
I called the office. They said that Mary was here.
Oh, no, you can't come in.
I can't?
We're fitting my wedding dress, honey.
No, it's the worst possible luck for the bride to be seen in her wedding dress or any part of it before the wedding.
I just thought that maybe we'd have some lunch.
Oh, honey, I can't. We're gonna be a while, and then I gotta get back to the station. I still got to put together half of tonight's news.
Let me take you downstairs and buy you a corned beef sandwich and a roll with a beer, huh?
Sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
I love you.
See you later.
I love you.
Mom, I think I'll be at headquarters. I gotta pick up my messages. Remind me to do that, will you, Jack?
Great.
Ryan headquarters, Alvin Newton.
Yes, I believe I spoke to you earlier and left a message for Frank Ryan that his wife wants him to meet her and her friend Sheila at Lem's restaurant right after their cooking lesson.
Oh, at noon. Ask for Mrs. Lem. I've got it.
All right, would you be sure that he gets that as quickly as possible?
Yes, sir, as soon as I hear from him.
All right. Thank you very much.
Has Mary heard anything at all from Sam Crowell?
Not a word. Your old pal Sam just disappeared. Nick apparently had enough information on his marijuana operation to scare him pretty good.
Well, I tell you, it's hard to believe. I really like that lad.
I noticed that.
I think part of the reason is he tried so hard to fit in around here.
Maybe he'll show up for Mary's wedding. Who knows?
I wish he would. Maybe I could do a story on the whole operation before the wedding.
Well, you can always postpone things, you know, Jack. joke, Jack, joke.
Sure, Johnny.
Da, do you remember the night Mary was May Queen at presentation?
May Queen?
Her senior year in high school.
I never forget it. Prettiest thing I ever saw in my life.
Well, wait till you see her in Ma's blouse and Aunt Mora's veil.
Ooh. I tell you, Jack, I have always tried to value my kids for the important things, you know. They work hard. They're givers, not takers. They value people, not things. They're smart. But I just can't help feeling I'm glad they're good looking.
Oh,
Hey, wait till you meet Kathleen. Now, she is as different from Mary as night to day. That reddish blonde hair, blue eyes, and the sweetest, steadiest girl you'll ever meet in your life.
Married to Art, who appreciates him.
Exactly. And Siobhan. Ah, she is an original. A law unto herself. Always has been, right, Frank?
Yep.
I tell you, when my three girls walk down the street together, traffic stops. And Aunt Dee and Maeve to the wedding party, and nobody's gonna notice who Mary's marrying, right?
What about Bob, Patrick, and me in our morning coats, and himself? You won't be ashamed of us, Jack. Although I have to tell you, Bob has a few misgivings about the vest and the tails.
Well, he's not the only one.
Well, look, Jack, I've been meaning to tell you, I appreciate your gesture, asking Bob to be one of the ushers.
I think of Bob as a Ryan, so what would an official Ryan celebration be without him?
Well, it's your celebration, too, Jack. Excuse me, I haven't called in the office since 9 o'clock. I got messages up to here.
Hey, where'd you finally go to rent your wedding suit, Jack?
I didn't.
Oh, don't tell me you went out and bought one now.
No, I just haven't gotten around to doing anything about it.
Well, hadn't you better? Or are you going to find yourself walking down the aisle in your blue jeans?
Well, in that case, they might notice who Mary Ryan's marrying after all.
You know, admiring independence the way I do, Jack, I just can't help wondering why you make me so mad.
Well, there's independence, and then there's deviation from the Ryan party line.
You know, it'd be just like you, wouldn't it? There's beautiful Mary with her sisters gathered around her. And there's her mother working and slaving to make it a day Mary will remember for the rest of her life. And there's Jack Finelli, the bridegroom, doing his best to show his respect for the occasion in his work pants and boots. Huh?
Thanks for the lunch.
Anytime, boyo, anytime.
Tell Gordon it's up before the city council now, and I'm doing what I can. Okay, what else?
Yeah.
What?
Meet Mrs. Ryan and Sheila at Lem's at noon, if you'd like to sample results of their cooking lesson.
Oh, what do you know? Yeah, okay, I think I might just do that. Look, I'll check in with you about 2 o'clock, okay, Alvin?
Okay.
Okay, babe, bye-bye. Jack leave?
Yeah, he took off. I think I managed to persuade him to do something about his wedding outfit.
Yeah, and I thought Mary was cutting it close. Listen, I gotta go. Dee just left a message to meet her and Sheila at Lem's.
What are they doing in Lem's?
Cooking lesson.
Well, I thought Dee was out hustling up volunteers for you.
Mrs. Lem and Sheila, maybe?
Yeah. Well, listen, at least you'll get to meet Sheila.
I'm really curious. See you later.
Yeah.
such a sad face?
Oh, not sad. I was just wondering.
Well, while you're sitting there wondering, why don't you run this lace around the edge of this handkerchief?
What's it for, Ma?
No respectable bride would go to an altar without a handkerchief. In case you got a little dust in her eye. Oh, it should have been blue.
Why?
Well, you have something old, my blouse. You have something new, this skirt. You have something borrowed, Aunt Maura's wedding veil. And now you need something blue. If we're going to do this wedding, we should do it right.
Well, we'll find something else blue. Ma,
Darling, what?
I was just wondering, do you think Frank and Kathleen and Pat and Trevon each think they're your favorite, too?
I beg your pardon.
Well, I know all that stuff you used to tell us about loving us equally but differently, each for him or herself.
Well, that was true as far as it went. Children don't like things complicated.
And I never minded sharing you with Frank, because what was Frank's was mine, and vice versa for all those years. And I knew you depended on Kathleen because she was so responsible. Patrick made you laugh. Trevon was the baby. But you know, I always believed deep down inside that I was the one you really loved best. And it just occurred to me, I'll bet they all felt the same way, too. How'd you ever manage it?
I don't know. I don't know. I hope it's true. I mean, it probably helps us all to start out in life believing that our mothers think we're the most splendid person in the world. So many things happen to us later in life. But you know, darling, it's true. You are very special to me. I think that's because we're so much alike.
Do you think we are?
Oh, are we ever? That's why I got so mad at you. I would get madder at you than I would at Kathleen or Siobhan. Your faults and failures were always my faults and failures. The thing that upsets us most, I think, in other people are the things we dislike in ourselves. Oh, your adolescence was perfectly awful. I found myself staring myself in the eye. I wonder, how did we ever survive it?
I know how. In the end, you trusted me.
Yeah. You know what my mother used to say about that? She used to say, it's easy to break rules. It's harder to break trust.
Your mother was right.
Yes.
And that's exactly why I think it's all going to be all right for Jack and me in the end. I trust him to love me enough. He knows that I trust him, and he won't break trust.
Hey! Hey, listen, Frank, we're all really glad to hear about the wedding.
Thanks, Angie. I'm not so sure I share those sentiments.
Hey, congratulations! You sure surprised a lot of people.
Yeah, namely me, Lou, namely me. Hi, Jumbo.
What's the matter this time?
1, Johnny Ryan. 2, a bunch of mindless ritual and superstition about something that should be as natural as anything in the world, selecting a mate. Hey, deal me in, huh? And 3, damn ridiculous monkey suit. I haven't done anything about renting.
You better.
Well, maybe I shouldn't better. Maybe I ought to show up in the church in my blue jeans. Then maybe Father McShane won't marry us. And Mary and I can go on and live in uncomplicated sin.
As I recall, that didn't work.
Will anything be better than this? Give me one, huh? Oh, busted. You got a suit?
Left over when I was the Grand Marshal of the parade.
Yeah, well, you lost a lot of weight since then.
I just had to take it in.
Well, you look like a penguin for both of us.
Hold it, Lou. Giovanni, that was not too respectful. I don't like your attitude. We better get to the bottom of this.
Jumbo, I'm sorry.
You don't seem sorry. You seem mad.
Not at you.
Mary?
No, not at Mary.
At who?
I don't know. Myself, maybe. Not telling Johnny Ryan he can take his June wedding and his damn monkey suit and jam him all the way up the chimney of the World Trade Center. Well, what does a grown man have to put on a Halloween costume in broad daylight in a church full of a bunch of people just to Just to show a girl's family that he loves her.
I can't tell what's really bugging him.
He loves Mary, don't he? You do love her, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just cold feet as the big day approaches.
Yeah, which is perfectly natural. I mean, it happened to me.
Well, maybe it is the suit. I mean, they are kind of silly.
You're right the first time. It's nerves.
Jack. I'm scared. I get more scared every day.
Of what?
She's too young. I'm too old. I'll go through with it. She'll wake up one morning, look around, and realize she made a mistake. Only be too late, because you know she really believes in all that till death do us part stuff. I'm scared of what I've been scared of all along. I'll hurt her. Lose her.
Jack, Mary isn't gonna walk out on you. Trust her like she trusts you.
Hey, stop worrying about it. Relax. Enjoy it.
Get the suit, get it over with.
Like Angie says, I got a friend.
Hey, how about we go along for moral support? Come on.
We'll get the suit, and we'll have a celebration. We'll have some clams, a squigili, and a bowl of pasta. Everything's gonna be all right.
You know, once we're past the actual marriage, I think everything's gonna be fine.
Darling, you keep saying that. What's fine?
Well, I have a very clear idea in my head of what life with Jack is gonna be like. I wonder if it's anywhere near right.
Well, it's not as if you're buying a pig in a poke, you know.
That's true.
How do you see it?
Well, both of us working and loving what we do. Me learning a lot from him because he's really very generous about sharing what he knows.
I think most men are, aren't they?
Going with him when he's covering stories where I wouldn't be in the way. Entertaining a little. His friends from the paper, city government, sports people he hangs around with. And I don't know, Mom. Just being together. That's the best part of it. Staying in bed all morning on weekends with the paper and a pot of espresso and hugging and kissing. Just loving each other.
And do you see all this happening in Jack's same apartment?
Well, for the time being, anyway. It's small, but it's wonderful. I love the river, foghorns, and the ships.
And what about children?
Oh, I don't think right away. Before you and Al got married, did you have any idea what it would be like?
Oh, yes. And nothing turned out the way I expected it.
Oh, really?
Oh, no. How could I? At 16, imagine what New York City would be like. I'd been once to Dublin, twice to Cork. I'd spent all my life in a place where my family and friends and school and church were all within a half-hour's distance, along roads that I knew as well as I knew the back of my own hand. I knew all the trees and all the stones and 6 generations of the neighbors' animals. The whole parish knew me. There was no way in the world for me to imagine what life across an ocean was going to be like, except for one thing.
What was that?
I knew John Ryan, and I knew that he loved me. Oh, I hope your life with Jack is everything that you think it's going to be, and more.
But you're still worried, aren't you, Mom?
Well, it's Mother's job to worry. You be happy.
Hiya.
Well, hi. Well, now, Mrs. Ryan, it's being rumored that your daughter is going to be the most beautiful bride in the history of Riverside.
Well, whoever reported that rumor was
Where's-
perfectly right.
Where's Jack?
He went off to do something about getting some clothes for the wedding, I hope. You both would have been terribly proud of me. I was terrifically nice to that kid.
Well, good for you.
Listen, I gotta get back to the station. Besides doing tonight's news, I gotta make sure there's gonna be somebody there to cover while I'm on my honeymoon.
Oh, I would do that if I were you.
Da, have you heard anything about Seneca?
Jill called. She said they expected the jury back this afternoon.
Oh, let me know if you hear, will you?
Oh, sure,
we will,
sweetheart.
dear.
Ma, thanks for the dress and all.
Ah, you know you're welcome.
I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Where's Frank?
Oh, he's gone to meet Delia and her friend Sheila at Lem's.
Aha.
I don't understand, Mr. Ryan.
I got a message at my headquarters to meet Dee and Sheila here after their cooking lesson.
I haven't given Mrs. Ryan a cooking lesson.
You haven't?
No. And who is Sheila?